And the team's on their way out of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where the game is brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. Next 2 nights on the Talksport network, we've got commentary of 6 more European ties featuring Man City, Newcastle, Chelsea, Villa, Palace and Forest. Tonight, Talksport is live here at Liverpool Real Madrid. And we're at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where Spurs need a win for so many reasons. They take on Copenhagen with your commentary team, former England midfielder Danny Murphy, alongside Jim Proudfoot.
Adrian, thank you, and a very good evening to you for the third game in a week that could shape so much for Tottenham Hotspur. Out of the League Cup last Wednesday, now Thomas Frank's men are back at home after the disappointments and frustrations of Saturday night, where they failed to lay a glove on Chelsea. They simply have to improve tonight. And if this is Spurs' least illustrious tie of the league stage of the Champions League on paper, it brings with it huge significance, because if they do harbour hopes of a top 8 finish and progression straight through to the round of 16, it's hard to imagine that possibly happening without victory here this evening. The target, 16 points from 8 games. Only a win tonight will have them on course for that, with 8 after 4 matches at the halfway stage of the league campaign. Now, the tie at home to pot 4 opposition is theoretically the easiest any side will face. That's what tonight represents. Spurs have still got both matches against pot 1 teams to come, with PSG away and Dortmund at home, and the away game against pot 2 Eintracht Frankfurt. Anything less than 5 points in the next 5 games will see them eliminated altogether, almost certainly, so there's no overstating the premium on tonight. Copenhagen are in a worse state, just 1 point from 3 games in Europe. They're struggling domestically as they try to marry league and continental commitments. Their chances of progression already the south side of slim, and recent performances suggest they're not as good a team as the one that beat Manchester United in the group stage a couple of years ago. So can Spurs take advantage and rediscover their home form in the process? They simply have to. Thomas Frank makes 5 changes. Vicario's in goal, Porro, Romero, who's replaced Danso, Van der Ven, and a doggy who's in for Spence, who's not fully fit. Sarr drops deeper and plays alongside Bentancur. Johnson in for the injured Kudus. Simons, who replaces Palhinha, and Odobert, who deputises for Bergvall, who's out with concussion. Colin Moani, who's played in a Champions League semi-final in the past, is up front. Copenhagen have got Katarski in goal. A back 4 of Suzuki, Gabriel, Hatzidakos and Lopez. Lerea and Clem. Jordan Larsson, the son of Henrik. El Yanusi, who scored here in his Southampton days. And Ashuri. And Makoko, who lost his record as the Champions League's youngest ever player earlier tonight, is up front. On the Spurs bench, only 4 outfield players with any significant first-team experience. That's Danso, Palhinha, Richarlison and Spence, along with Scarlett, midfielders Kieran Martin and Akamrich, teenage centre-half James Roswell, and keepers Austin and Kinski. So we're underway. Spurs in all white. They're kicking from right to left. And Copenhagen in their change kit of all black with gold trim. And just indulging in a game of head tennis in the heart of midfield that Xavi Simons loses. It's cleared by Gabriel, the centre-half, forward towards halfway. And Yanusi tried to shepherd the ball out of play. Larson ended up losing out, and Spurs get it back again. Well, top 6 in the Premier League and still unbeaten in Europe, but Spurs fans will understandably paint a different narrative. 2 defeats this week, no goals in either, and booed off here at the weekend. Tonight, not just a must-win game to maintain their hopes of a top 8 berth in the Champions League, it's a must-win game for any number of reasons, Danny.
It's a huge evening for this Tottenham side.
And the doggy getting to the byline wins the first corner.
Yeah, it's a huge evening to get these fans back on board. It's got a little bit toxic in the last couple of home games. The performances have been poor. The result really, of course, matters to a degree, but with other games to worry about the points. If Tottenham are really good and on the front foot and at it, the fans will get behind them and they'll clap them off, even if they end up drawing the game. It's not the end of the world if your performance is good and your energy is good.
Well, what they would give for an early goal tonight of all nights, and they have the opportunity here with Pedro Porro standing over the first corner. He's hit it in really deep. It's brought down by Sarr on the right-hand side of the 6-yard box, but his first touch was poor. Now Copenhagen can hammer it away. It'll be picked up deep by Guglielmo Vicario, and he sends a long diagonal down to the Tottenham left. Porro trying to control that, can't quite, goes out of play for a throw that'll be taken by the Copenhagen right back, the Japanese international Junosuke Suzuki, one of the best players in the visitors team. Just dries the ball on his shirt. It's been a filthy night over the last hour or so here, but has just dried off a little bit over the last 20 minutes or so.
It was actually a good chance for Spurs, that corner. Swung in from the left-hand side, over the heads of everybody, and Sarr really decided to bring it down when I thought he could have headed it on goal.
In the Championship, Ipswich 0, Watford 1 in the early stages at Portman Road. Imran Lousa's 6th goal of the season, and Lewis Baker's 3rd has given Stoke a 1-0 lead at Oxford. Will key up today with all of the goals, both domestically and across the continent, as two Spurs players, Simons and Colin Moani, both go for the same ball around the edge of the D, and had either been able to make clean contact on that was also a half chance.
Joe was good from Sarr though. A nice positive run forward. Got a bit lucky on the give and go, but you get a bit of luck when you're positive, and you end up on the edge of the box nearly with a chance.
Here's Mickey van der Ven inside the centre circle for Spurs, dominating possession and the territorial advantage in the early stages as well. Down from him for Wilson on a bear, back for Sarr, playing in this deeper role tonight, back alongside Bentancur, in the position that Polinia played at the weekend. But Sarr, who played as a number 10 in that game, has deferred to Simons in that role tonight. An opportunity for Romero now to get his foot on the ball. Out to the right-hand side for Porro and swiftly back. And one of the things that the Spurs fans desperate to see, you talked about it in the build-up. Danny was a greater tempo as the ball is played around the edge of the box. Able to do that now with Destiny Udogie coming forward, trying to get the ball in with his right foot. It was ricocheted away off Suzuki. Comes back down to Sarr. He takes it back towards the edge of the centre circle and goes out towards the right-hand side again for Pedro Porro. Has the chance to control it, looks up, surveys his options, doesn't like what's ahead of him, so goes back inside the centre circle for Romero. Romero down to the right-hand side for Simons, has been very busy in the early stages, just drifting out there from his central role as a number 10. Now it's Van der Ven, and Udogie tries to knock it forward, but Suzuki can deal with that. And they should be easily cleared by Larsson in front of us, and brought down by Makoko. Makoko inside the centre circle, making 10-15 yards, playing it out to the left-hand side for an early run here from Ashuri. Ashuri, left-hand side of the penalty area, sends it across, and it's deflected behind off Porro, and Copenhagen have their first corner of the night.
Yeah, first we've seen of Copenhagen in an attacking force. It was good play actually, nice and tidy, good feet. That's the thing for Spurs, of course, when they can commit men forward to try and get on the front foot. You're going to have the odd counter, but that's okay. It's well defended.
So still 0-0 here through the opening 5 minutes. Arsenal winning 3-0 at Slavia Prague earlier. Napoli 0, Eintracht Frankfurt 0. The other result from the early kickoffs. In comes this corner. It's worked short. Left-footed shot through a crowd, but comfortably dealt with by Vicario. Well struck by Jordan Larsson. Got hold of it nicely. Didn't really get the direction to get it either side of Vicario, and it was a comfortable save.
Yeah. They ring the box quite nicely. I'm surprised that Tottenham actually defending that corner, because they had nobody up front.
And Spurs launch it long, find Randall Kolo-Muani towards the edge of the penalty area. Didn't really attack that Copenhagen back line with a great degree of conviction, and it was easily cleared.
It was a great ball from Porro to get Muani in behind. That's the run you want. That's the option you want. That's what you need when you're looking forward. Have you got a runner? Have you got a target to hit? It was a great effort from Porro to find him. Just got squeezed out, but it was a good run by Muani.
Eye-catching games across the continent tonight. The Parc des Princes, the Champions League holders PSG, trail Bayern Munich by a goal to nil. Luis Diaz with his 9th of the season since his move from Liverpool. PSG 0, Bayern 1. Bayern looking for a 16th straight win in all competitions this season. They've now scored 55 and conceded only 10. What a start they've had to the season. What a start they've had tonight. Ahead in Paris inside 4.5 minutes. We played 6.5 here And it's 0-0. We'll be off to Anfield in a moment. There's still goalless there between the Reds and Real Madrid. Nicky van der Ven's got possession on halfway. He gets it forward with his left foot. It's a lovely turn by Destiny Udogie. He's shown up well early. Now, Xavi Simons from distance, via a deflection, and it spins it wide for a corner. But excellent play from Udogie in the approach. Bravery from Udogie, taking it on the half turn, using his power and awareness to get onto that back four. Slips a little ball to Simons. It's quite a poor effort, really. There was no conviction in that shot. Gets the deflections, corner. He mishit it, actually. That shows the confidence of him at the moment. Yeah, still waiting. Well, this is 13th game for the club to score his first goal. But another corner. And the home crowd find their voice. Again, Pedro Porro with the opportunity to send one in. This time Spurs have 5 deep deeper than the far side of the 6-yard box. They make their way into the 6-yard box now. Very congested central area, but Copenhagen make first contact and get it away. Out it goes as far as Odebear. Odebear clipping a beautiful ball inside the penalty area. The angle's tight as it's pulled back past the stricken goalkeeper and cleared from in behind him by Hansidiakos and out of play for a throw. Good start by Spurs. A great ball. Brennan Johnson gets in behind the left back and then he miscontrols it when he had 3 options in the box. He's in. It's a poor touch from him. Be disappointed, but it was a great pass. Got in behind him again. Good start. Positive from Tottenham. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. And 8.5 minutes in, it remains 0-0. But Tottenham well on top. Ipswich have found an equaliser at home to Watford. I'll confirm the goal scorer at Portman Road for you presently. Bentancur in possession, going back for Romero. Udogie just making a darting run infield, which creates a little bit of space out on the flank for Odebear, but Spurs have worked it from the left out to the right. It's Jaden Philogene, Ipswich's top scorer with 6 now this season, who has got that goal. He got a tremendous hat-trick against Sheffield United, one of the best hat-tricks you could ever wish to see earlier this season. Ipswich hoping for a 3rd win in a row tonight, 1-1, having trailed early against Watford. This one's still 0-0 with Van der Ven in possession. Square goes to his right-hand side. Play forward by Sarr. Simons taking it on. Udogie putting the pressure on, is able to force an error out of Clem. And then Colin Moani puts too much on the through ball. And out comes Katarski and is able to pick it up. 0-0. What's been going on at Anfield in the early stages? Here's Talksport's Matt Jones.
8.5 gone here. Still Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0. Liverpool made a bright start, but their only chance was a McAllister shot from distance that was blocked. Real coming into it a bit of late. Vinicius looking dangerous over the top against Bradley. It's Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0.
Thanks, Matt. Back with Matt on a frequent basis throughout the course of the night. Still 0-0. And we've got championship reporters up and down the country as well, and we'll check in with them very shortly. In fact, let's go now as Spurs run the ball out of play with Odebear to St Andrews. Birmingham taking on top 4 Millwall. Here's Dave Rowe.
Birmingham 0, Millwall 0. Millwall the closest so far. A long throw by Harding from the right, headed out towards the edge of the area. Kundal sent it back towards goal. Forced a decent save out of Beadle. For the home side, an early run by Tommy Doyle towards the edge of the area and shooting wide. Birmingham 0, Millwall 0.
Next to the Valley, Charlton West Brom. Ian Abrahams.
Charlton 0, West Brom 0. 2 good chances, West Brom. Isaac Price from outside the box with a shot over the top. Illing Jr. 8 yards out with a volley. Likewise, Charlton 0, West Brom 0.
And second place, Middlesbrough taking on a Leicester side who've lost 3 in a row. Jeff Peters.
It's Leicester 0, Middlesbrough 0. Leicester, though, with the best chance. Caleb Okoli got on the end of a free kick from Thomas from the left-hand side, but weak contact and put it wide of the goal. Leicester 0, Borough 0.
Elsewhere in the Championship, Ipswich 1, Watford 1. As we mentioned, Stoke leading at Oxford 1-0. One game in League 1 as well, which is goalless between Rotherham and Burton. We'll keep you updated with everything. In the EFL Trophy tonight, Grimsby have just equalised at home to Everton's youngsters at Blundell Park. Bentancur playing the ball forward here. Simons with a suspicion that he might just have got his left arm to that. Play goes on though. Colin Moani trying to thread it back to him. Knocked away easily by Lirea in the heart of the midfield. The man that really makes this Copenhagen team tick. He's been the star performer so far this season. Out it goes towards Destiny Udogie. Back from him to Micky van der Ven. And now to Pape Sarr. Sarr caressing the ball through the centre circle, inviting Pedro Porro forward. As he looks up, he sees a line of 5 near the edge of the penalty area for Spurs, but being well marshalled at the moment by the Copenhagen defence, who will just try and keep things pretty compact and tight behind the ball and frustrate their Tottenham counterparts. They haven't got a good defensive record in this competition, letting 4 at home to Dortmund last time out. In fact, they've conceded 2 or more in each of their last 5 Champions League games. So it would be something of a surprise, notwithstanding Spurs' goal troubles here, if they can't find a way through. But they have failed to score in 3 of the last 4 matches, Tottenham, and desperately need to try and get the recipe right in front of goal. Derby leading Hull by a goal to nil. Carlton Morris has got that, his 5th in his last 3 games, his 9th of the season. Derby leading in form Hull 1-0. Here's Gabriel. Down towards Suzuki. Played for by the Japanese right back into Makoko. And he's been just given a shove by Van der Ven to give a free kick to Copenhagen 20 yards inside their own half. Here's Danny Murphy.
The last Spurs move, actually, Simon's got himself in a great position, turned and then tried the through ball. It didn't happen, but I'd rather see him try to be productive and fail than not take the risk. It was the right ball to try and make. Spurs
defending with a relatively high line. That's the first time we've seen Copenhagen try and ping one over the top. It was Achuri that made the run, the Tunisian international down the left flank. It wasn't a great ball. Wasn't too much room to work with down that left-hand touchline, and it was the wrong angle on it, but the intent is certainly there. Now Wilson Odobert for Spurs as the deadlock is broken at St Andrews. Dave Rowe.
Birmingham 1, Millwall 0. Peck with a lovely strike from inside the penalty area to put the home side in front. Good play by Roberts down the right-hand side. Got the better of Cooper, put it all the way across and sent back goalwards. Lovely strike by Peck. Birmingham 1, Millwall 0.
And elsewhere in the Champions League, Sporting looking for a 6th straight win, leading at Juventus by a goal to nil. Sporting have got 6 points from their opening 3 games, and they're a goal up tonight. And if it stays that way, Juve are in a spot of bother because they've only got 2 points from the opening 3 and trailing tonight. Juventus 0, Sporting 1. Spurs, for their part, still unbeaten in the Champions League. 15th out of the 36 teams through the opening 3 matches, with a win here against Villarreal and 2 maybe fortunate draws away to Werder Glimt and Monaco. But the second half of the campaign is certainly harder than the first half. Here's Colin Moani trying to stride forward. It was a really poor challenge and a yellow card. Gabriel, the player that receives it, Colin Moani just nudging it past him. And the Brazilian centre-half has been struggling for illness in the last few days, just with a lazy-looking lunge, brought him down. Free kick to Spurs in a half-decent position, but very central. 2 good things about that. The quick release from Bentancur when he won it back to give it to Moani, and then Moani's positive run. Bit of skill, using his pace, going past the centre-half, committing him. Now they've got a free kick. It's probably too far out. Wouldn't be shooting from there, to be honest, unless you had Ronaldo's boots on. So it's very central. The spray is put down just inside the D. It's a 3-man wall that therefore was pretty much on the edge of the D, which gives you an idea as to exactly how far this free kick is. Pedro Porro just trying to calculate all the options or make out that he is. It's too far. A good keeper should never be from that distance. Katarski has not been informed, though, the Copenhagen keeper. So Porro does try his luck, and it's flown over the bar. Yeah, I think be a bit cuter there. Have some ideas, have some inventiveness. Work on a few things on a training pitch. Always have a couple in the back of your mind. Okay, the keeper's been poor. Maybe he's thinking I'll test him early on. He's tried the knuckleball. He's tried to give it the wobble, which is the only way you're going to score from there. It's a ridiculously difficult technique. I spent hours trying to do it. It's hard. Did you ever manage it? Did you ever hit one where you thought, yeah, I've cracked it? Yes, in training, but I never risked it in the match because they were so... In fact, really quick story, there's a lad, the best at it at Fulham when we used to practice, a lad called Simon Davis, that knuckleball, former Welsh captain. It was here, yeah. At Tottenham, of course, yeah. And he... we got free kick in a similar area that Porro had one then, and I said to him, go on, do it, hit it. You've got it in the locker. I believe in you. And he said, all right, give it here. It nearly cleared the stand, honestly. And he said, don't ever speak to me again. Just coming down the Hammersmith tube station now. Here's Destiny Udogie making his way forward. Inside the penalty area, he's gone for goal. Now Katarski can make a comfortable catch. He's just made his way across the near post and went down to his knees and brought the ball into his body. It remains 0-0. Spurs well on top here through 17 minutes.
They are. They look comfortable, but again, that little lack of quality in the final third was rushed from Udogie. They had options. He didn't need to shoot from such an acute angle. He's never going to score from there.
And Makoko coming back, trying to link up the play in the midfield. And now the switch of play from Lopez, the fullback. Vicario read it. Great starting position, long way outside his penalty area. The Spurs will try and build. Bentancur's ball forward was a little bit heavy. Hatzidakis has got plenty of time. The blonde-haired Greek at the heart of the back line for Copenhagen. And he plays it back to his goalkeeper, Katarski, and now out towards the left-back, Lopez. Here's Clem in the heart of the midfield. Liarea. Now towards Makoko, who the Copenhagen fans have been really disappointed with after his move from Dortmund. He's only scored once in 30 European ties in his career, the man leading the line tonight, the 20-year-old. We're 18 minutes in, it's 0-0. We'll be back at Anfield in a moment. Liarea with the ball at his feet just at the edge of the centre circle. Now flicking it down to his right for Gabriel. Gabriel, the dark-haired Brazilian, the one player who's been booked so far. Pull ball from him through the midfield. Simons can seize upon it, and now they manage to get it forward for Johnson. Oh, keeper's come out, got himself stranded, and Johnson has passed it into the net from a tight angle on the right-hand side. Rush of blood to the head for the Copenhagen keeper. The quality of ball forward was magnificent, but he still had so much to do. Brennan Johnson running onto it, nudging it past the keeper, had to go first time, and he's passed it with precision into the bottom left-hand corner. Brennan Johnson giving Spurs a 1-0 lead.
Terrific finish, but really good pass, wasn't it, from Simons? We were just talking a couple of minutes ago about being brave and trying those passes. He finds himself again in a good area, gets on the half turn. He's onside, it's a great pass. Bends it into Brennan Johnson's path, the right way. The keeper gets tempted. I don't know what the goalkeeper's doing. That is a ridiculous decision. He's coming 5 yards outside his box. There's two defenders running back, but nevertheless, terrific finish from Brennan Johnson and a brilliant pass from Simons. I'm pleased for him.
Well, all the reports were that the keeper Dominic Katarski's bang out of form. He really struggled in that game at home to Dortmund on match day 3. And he's made Brennan Johnson's life that little bit easier tonight. It's still a difficult chance, but the keeper really played into his hands. So the man that scored the winner in the Europa League final scores his first goal in his last 13 games against top-flight opposition, and 20 minutes in, Spurs lead Copenhagen 1-0.
Their play's warranted it. They've started brightly. Yes, they are coming up against the poor side, but they've moved the ball forward quickly. They've got in the pockets, and they've caused this team problems. So it's a good response from the weekend for sure.
Huddersfield 2, Mansfield 0 in the Football League Trophy tonight. Huddersfield through if they win. Find out what's been going on at Anfield. Spurs ahead here. How are Liverpool doing, Matt?
It's still Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0. A chance at both ends since you were last with me. McAllister skying over for Liverpool, then Mbappe high into the Anfield Road stand at the other end. Liverpool thought they could have had a penalty as well. Salah got into the box. He had a defender all over him. Didn't go down. Nothing given. Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0.
Stoke go 2 up at Oxford with a goal from the veteran midfielder Stephen Nzonzi. And there's penalty action at the Valley. Ian Abrahams.
Charlton 0, West Brom 0. Penalties to Charlton. Ball played into the area, headed by Miles Leeburn, handled by Diakate. Greg Doherty has the ball on the spot. The Charlton captain. It's in front of the West Brom fans. He's just standing there composed, waiting. Josh Griffiths is on his line. He's going to step up now and take it. It's no more than a 3-yard run-up for Doherty, who just moves to his left-hand side, takes it right-footed, and it's saved! Charlton 0, West Brom 0.
Doherty still unable to open his account for the season. Penalty save. Charlton 0, West Brom 0. Elsewhere in the Champions League, Olympiacos leading PSV by a goal to 0. That would be a turn-up for the books. Olympiacos with just the 1 point so far. Gelson Martins putting them ahead against the PSV side, who are unbeaten in 8 and have won 5 in a row in all competitions. Spurs ahead here through Brennan Johnson's excellent goal on 19 minutes, his 4th goal of the season. We're just a minute or so shy of the midway stage of the first half here on Talksport. And a choice of listening tonight over on Talksport 2, Coventry against Sheffield United in the EFL. It's a top against third bottom and still 0-0. Tomorrow, 3 live games for you on the Talksport network. Chelsea got a Karabakh, 5:45 over on Talksport 2. And that's followed by Newcastle against Bilbao. Here on Talksport at 8 o'clock, Manchester City taking on Borussia Dortmund. Destiny Udogie bringing the ball forward. Down the Spurs left. A thumping challenge comes in on him, but he's done well to protect the ball and get it away from Learea. Working back towards Pap Sarr. Van der Ven has it now. Back from him for Romero. Romero just a couple of yards inside his own half. Walking the ball, almost tiptoeing it forward towards the halfway line. And then Sarr, in trying to thread it through to Simons, just hits the nearest Copenhagen player. But he gets a second bite of the cherry and then a third as he exchanges passes with Romero. 1-0 to Spurs here. And they're comfortable. Van der Ven back for Romero and out towards Pedro Porro. Porro given license to come forward about 10-15 yards into Copenhagen territory and plays it out towards the right hand side. Johnson sends a brisk first time ball and whacked about 60 yards back towards his own penalty area, where Spurs will mop up again.
Got to keep the tempo up. Don't get lethargic again and ponderous with the ball when you 1-0 up because you think you're in control. Keep that tempo up, get the second, get the third, get the fans going, get the game done. Then you can cruise a bit in the second half. But keep moving it quickly. Tempo's just dropped a little because they got the goal.
Spurs' record at home really poor, as has been well documented. Only 1 point from their last 4 home games. Only 13 points from a season's worth of home matches. If you look at the last 19 home Premier League matches that Spurs have played, 3 wins, 4 draws, 12 defeats. But in Europe it's a different story, of which more in a moment. Destiny Udogie in possession. PSG have equalised at home to Bayern Munich in that game at the Parc des Princes. 1-1. Udogie playing it back for Xavi Simons. It's Dembele that has scored the goal. Sarr down towards Simons, the two of them playing at close quarters, right near the left-hand touchline. Sarr can just create a little bit of space for himself in the midfield. Back for Romero. Porro making a darting run back towards him. It's played in. Romero gets it back and uses Vicario behind him, and that would allow the Copenhagen back line just to push forward, but Spurs not playing at any great tempo.
It just dropped a little bit. Porro's doing it. Porro's moving the ball quickly. He's getting the ball forward. Simons is trying to get on it now. He's got a little bit of confidence because of the pass. We've just got to keep thinking of the tempo of the play, because that's what's going to kill this team, this Copenhagen team. It's going to be too much for them. As soon as they slow it down, it's easier to defend against. Can get back, get their shape.
Here's Romero. Almost on the centre spot as he pops it off to his left-hand side for Mickey van der Ven. Oh, great first-time ball around the corner from Odobert. Udogie knew it was coming. Ball from him in towards the penalty spot. Simons was waiting, had his head in his hands as it was cleared from just in front of him by Clem. He puts it out of play for Spurs' third corner of the night, 1-0.
Really good. But what about the pass from Odobert? That's a risk. You take the risks. You play positive. You try and hurt the opposition. It won't always come off, but when it does, you get in behind and you get chances. Then the crowd start.
Porro coming across to take the corner. That Dembele goal under review, incidentally. PSG 1, Bayern 1 at the moment. We'll confirm the final decision for you shortly. Porro raises his left arm above his head. A corner from the Tottenham left. It's the deepest of them so far, and was just headed away from Sarr. Brought back down under control by Johnson. Johnson going back for Odobert, who on those corners is always the player that stays furthest back. Johnson clipping it in now. Sarr with a looping header, but a little bit too much power on it, and it's flown over the bar.
Yeah, good from Brennan Johnson. One-on-one with a full-back. Don't come back. Use your pace, as he does. Knocks it by him. Gets a little dink to the back post. Sarr should do better, really. We've seen him score that type of header before. Just can't get over. He's trying to... It is probably what 8-9 yards out. He's trying to create power, and by doing that, he's guided it over the bar.
Has got a couple of goals this season. Papsari netted at West Ham and at Everton as well. The live game for you right now over on Talksport 2. Sam McCallum has given Sheffield United the lead at Coventry. The Coventry top of the table, but lost their unbeaten record in the thriller live on Talksport 2 at Wrexham on Friday. And now, live on Talksport 2, they're behind at home to third bottom Sheffield United, to Sam McCallum's goal. That Ousmane Dembele goal has been ruled out at the Parc des Princes. He was offside. And it's 1-0 to Bayern Munich still, with Luis Diaz's 4th minute opener there. It's Brennan Johnson on 19 here. And Spurs lead Copenhagen 1-0. Van der Ven on halfway is put under pressure. Lays it back for Romero. Down it comes towards the doggy, coming to meet it. And flicks it with the outside of the boot. And it will make its way through towards Katarski, the Copenhagen keeper, away to our left-hand side. Let's go back to Anfield. Here's Talksport's Matt Jones.
It's still Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0, but Real beginning to imprint themselves on this game, and they've just had their best chance yet. Tchouameni found in space outside the area, but he dragged his shot wide from distance. As I speak, Liverpool are in here, and Szoboszlai forces a save out of Courtois at point-blank range. It's Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0.
Spurs give it away and then win it back just on the edge of their own penalty area, and they got a throw, and it was left by Simons, thinking he was going to run out of play for a Tottenham throw. And it was chased after by Clem. And Copenhagen end up getting the decision. The throw level the edge of the Spurs penalty area.
Yeah, a couple of poor mistakes there from Spurs. Just a little bit sloppy in the last couple of minutes, giving Copenhagen a chance to get high up the pitch and nearly get in behind them. Just want to be careful.
You listen to the Champions League, live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Tottenham have been ahead for 10 minutes now. Throw to Copenhagen, who haven't forced Vicario into a difficult save yet tonight. What will this long throw be like? Not very long is the answer to that. It was just dropped in short. Subsequent cross comes in. Hatsidiakos is attacking it. Brought down by Moukoko on the edge of the penalty area. And the second time of asking, he got a shot in, which is just a little scuffer that Vicario had all the time in the world to get his hands behind. And Spurs have a player down injured. Johnson is just smacking the palm of his right hand into the turf.
He's all right.
Yeah, he's back on his feet.
Didn't defend that particularly well. Found himself in the box with a bit of space there. Moukoko doesn't look particularly confident, the forward. It's a poor touch and a better touch, and he would have had a chance to get a shot off inside the box.
He's their leading scorer this season. He's got 8 at a rate of 1 every 3 games. That does include a hat-trick against lower division opposition in the Cup last week, which the Copenhagen fans were telling me they hoped to played him back into form. There's not a lot of sign that it has necessarily, without wishing to tempt fate. Gabriel back for Hatsidiakos.
Although never easy playing against Van der Ven and Romero, we know that. Two imposing centre-halves, difficult to play against at times, those two.
Suzuki. Ball from him inside the penalty area. It's taken a deflection off Larsson's driven cross and goes behind for another corner, which will be taken over on the Copenhagen left. A reminder that elsewhere, Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0, PSG 0, Bayern Munich 1. Dembele had the ball in the net, thought he'd got an equalising goal, chalked off for offside. He's now gone off injured, and Lee Kang-in has come on to replace him. Still Bayern Munich leading there by a goal nil as they look for a 16th straight win in all competitions. That match between two of the sides have got a 100% record in the Champions League this season. The others are Arsenal, and they have already won today, beating Slavia Prague 3-0 away. In comes the corner. Should be easy for Vicario, and is. He's just taken it comfortably off the head of Clem, who'd made his way forward. Bowls it out. Down towards Destiny Udogie. Back from him for Mickey Van der Ven. Van der Ven to Vicario. Moukoko applying the pressure. Pass is worked out towards the right-hand touchline. Audebert coming in field to meet it. Has just been able to keep it in. He might wish that he hadn't, because it means that Moukoko is able to seize upon it. He's laid it back for Larsson. Comes towards Suzuki. Suzuki with a right-footed effort, and Vicario can watch that wide. Another goal at St Andrews. Dave Rowe.
Birmingham 2, Millwall 0. Damari Gray, second goal of the season. The front two, Stansfield and Dux combining. Stansfield's ball across from the right-hand side. Neat finish by Damari Gray, adding to Peck Stokely's strike. Birmingham 2, Millwall 0.
And let's go back to Anfield. The VAR having a look at something, Matt Jones.
They are. It's Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0, but Liverpool potentially have a penalty here. The ball is pulled back to Szoboszlai about 2 yards outside the area. He sends a fizzing, curling shot towards goal. It is blocked by Tchouameni, but it hits Tchouameni on the hand. Look, it's at point-blank range. It's harsh, but by the letter of the law, it's a free kick. The referee has originally given a free kick, but it is now being checked to see whether he was just inside the area when contact was made with his hand. VAR are looking at this now. They've still not come up with a decision, but I will let you know as and when we have one. It's Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0.
Danny, you've seen it. That's a European handball. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It probably wouldn't be in the Premier League. We can't quite see. I don't know who's checking. Is it whether it's in the area or not? That's probably why he's going over.
Yeah, he's just being...
it's looking like good news.
Invited to go over to the monitor. Looking like good news if you're a Liverpool supporter. Yeah, could be. We'll be back with Matt in a moment as Spurs bring the ball forward here. They lead Copenhagen 1-0 through that Brennan Johnson goal on 19 minutes. Van der Ven forward. And now Sarr can turn in the midfield and flick it out towards the right-hand touchline. It was a pass that was easily read by Lopez, the left back, the Peruvian.
It was easily read because Brennan Johnson didn't move. He's either got to come a little bit deeper, sharper to get it to feet, or spinning behind. He stood still.
And that would allow Copenhagen to bring it away. Suzuki has just given it away. It was a poor pass through the midfield. Very little chance for Learea to be able to get on the end of that.
Sarr does brilliantly win the ball back, and then he goes backwards. And he's not got anyone on him. Play forward.
Back the ball goes for the Copenhagen goalkeeper Katarski. We'll go back to Anfield. Matt, what's the decision?
Well, Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0. We're in disbelief here because the referee took a long time looking at the monitor and then he decided it wasn't a free kick in the first place. The ball clearly kicks his hand by the letter of the law. I think it is. Liverpool are in disbelief just as much as I am. They haven't got a penalty. Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0.
Luis Diaz has scored his and Bayern's second. PSG 0, Bayern Munich 2. Diaz up to 10 for the season. The second leading scorer for Bayern this season. PSG 2 down at home to Bayern Munich. Half-time at St Andrews. Heard the Birmingham leading Millwall by 2-0. Half-time in the Valley as well. Ian Abrahams.
Charlton 0, West Brom 0. Charlton missed the penalty. Greg Doherty's shot saved by Griffiths in the West Brom goal. Price twice and then Junior should have scored for the visitors at the break though. Charlton 0, West Brom 0.
Dusan Vlahovic has just equalised for Juventus at home to Sporting as the ball is worked down the left-hand side of the penalty area, only for Destiny Udogie to be offside. Let's go to the King Power. Leicester against Middlesbrough. Penalty action there, Jeff.
0-0. Penalty to Leicester, taken by Ayew and scored by Ayew. Leicester take the lead in first half stoppage time. It was a handball from Hayden Hackney. It looked bang on the line of the area. Ayew with the spot kick. Leicester 1, Middlesbrough 0.
And in first half stoppage time at Ashton Gate, Bristol City trailed Blackburn by a goal to nil. Hashi with his third of the season. Bristol City, who were beaten 5-1 by Stoke on Saturday. Blackburn have won 2 in a row, despite the fact they're down in the bottom 6, and they lead in the West Country by a goal to nil coming up towards half-time. Spurs, similarly, a goal up here. Odobert, lucky not to give it away. Ricochet through off Learea, and then as he stretched to get a second touch towards it, he caught Van der Ven, and it's a free kick that will be taken by Spurs inside their own half.
Got casual Spurs. Got safe again with the passing. Got the goal, and they've just taken their foot off, really. It can happen, but they should have talked about this and worked on this and spoken before. Still got to keep being brave. Still got to keep getting on the ball, moving it quickly, trying to get in the holes. Don't get safe just because you 1-0 up.
Leading courtesy of that Brennan Johnson goal. Let's get half-time details at St Andrews. Dave Rowe.
Birmingham 2, Millwall 0. A very efficient first half from the home side. The opener from Peck on 28 minutes. A neat chest down and drill finish to a Roberts cross. The second late in the half scored by Damari Gray from a Stansfield cross. Not too much from Millwall, bar a Cundle volley. Well saved by Beadle. Birmingham 2, Millwall 0.
Half-time at Leicester as well. That IU penalty, the difference as Kolo Muani tries to get in here inside the penalty area. He's laid it back. Simons with a touch. Oh, it wasn't read by Wilson Onabed to his left. He does get to the ball before it drifts out of play for a goal kick. It was just on his heels for a moment. And had he read that pass, he would have been in.
I actually think it was a poor pass. I think it was the pass, not the... He couldn't move on to it till he passed it. It was a really overweighted pass. Mwani's a threat, though. He looks a real threat when he gets in behind and he's up against those centre-halves. He's quick, he's strong. When he gets his rhythm and he finds his feet, because he's obviously not played many minutes yet, he could be a real decent player for Spurs moving forward.
Other half-times in the Championship: Ipswich 1, Watford 1, Oxford 0, Stoke 2. As Spurs bring it forward. Colin Mwani couldn't flick it over Clem. Well, now the ball brought down in the midfield by El Yanusi. He's been really quiet tonight. And former Southampton man lays it out to the left for Ashori. Ashori from distance, and it sails into the south stand away to our right-hand side. A harmless effort. And again, Vicario doesn't have a save to make. 38 on the clock. And still Spurs leading by a goal to nil. It would take them up to 8 points. Perfect fillip for them going into the game that they face here on Saturday at home to Manchester United. It is live on Talksport. The build-up starting at 11 o'clock, game day live. The match itself at 12:30. That's Spurs, Manchester United. Saturday lunchtime here, exclusively on Talksport.
Great ball.
Bentancur with it. Simon's touch, not so great. As he tried to pirouette and bring the ball under control, and he managed the first half and not the second. Lirea trying to get away from Colin Mwani, who's having a real wrestle at him, and eventually he's pulled El Yanusi back, and is he going to get a yellow card for that? He does. Number Colin Mwani's in the book, his second yellow card of the season.
It was actually just a minute before that, Bentancur hit a fabulous pass through the lines into the pocket where Simons was, and okay, he's tried to flick round a corner to Mwani, didn't come off, but that's fine. That's good. You won't get frustration from the fans for that as much as going backwards. And like a doggy a minute ago, he had all the time in the world and ended up going backwards to Van der Ven, and you heard the boos.
Odebear, sorry Danny, coming forward with pace here to the right-hand side of the penalty area. He's got the goal scorer Brennan Johnson. Johnson just flicks the ball back out towards Simons. Simons to Pedro Porro on the overlap. Stands it up towards the far post. Bounces once through the penalty area. Sarr will field it on the left-hand touchline. Clearly still a work in progress, but there is a much greater sense of adventure tonight as far as Spurs are concerned. They are playing against inferior opposition. I mean, Copenhagen nowhere near as good as Chelsea, but it has been better. Here's Simons tiptoeing his way through. Kolo Muani's put it wide. It would have been a picture book goal because the approach play was great. Some really tricky touches, an intricate passing game from Spurs. Simons flicking to his right for Kolo Muani, who's come onto it, wrong-footed the keeper, and he's put it about 6 inches wide of the left-hand post.
It was a brilliant move, best move of the match. Odebear, who's been really good actually, involved. Him and Simons linking up, and then really Simons could have gone himself, decided to slot it to Muani to he squared it to Muani to slot it into one of the corners, and he's put it a foot wide. Great move, best move of the match. That's what Tottenham fans want to see, that little bit of invention and bravery on the ball. I actually think Odebear's had a good 40 minutes. He's done some really good things. Been a little bit of criticism, a lot of these Tottenham players, but that goal's done them the world of good. Some of them are just freeing up a little bit as the half goes on. You can feel that they're getting a bit braver.
Colin Muani unable to hit the target for what would have been his first Spurs goal and his first in 16 Champions League ties since he scored for PSG against Milan back in 2023. Julian Alvarez has got his 9th of the season as Atletico Madrid lead Union Saint-Gilloise of Belgium by a goal, and Atletico have lost 2 of their 3 in the Champions League so far, but they lead tonight coming up to half-time. And let's go back to Anfield. Liverpool still looking for the breakthrough after that penalty wasn't given. Here's Matt Jones.
Yeah, Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0. They've had a further chance since you were last with me. Szoboszlai taking aim from outside the area. Courtois diving low to his right to make the save. And the referee has overtaken Trent Alexander-Arnold to become public enemy number 1. And we've just seen Vinicius go down in the area. He's already on a booking. It looked like a dive. Nothing given by the referee in terms of a foul, but nor an extra caution either. The Liverpool fans not happy. Liverpool 0, Real 0.
Thank you, Matt. Elsewhere in the Champions League, Atletico leading Saint-Gilloise 1-0. Bodo Glimt, Monaco's 0-0. Two sides have already played Spurs in this competition. Juventus 1, Sporting 1. Olympiacos 1, PSV 0. Bayern 2 up at PSG, who've also lost Dembele to injury. And Spurs leading here 1-0. Earlier, Arsenal winning 3-0 at Slavia. And Napoli Eintracht Frankfurt was goalless. Van der Ven has got possession for Spurs. 3 minutes to go to half-time. And he's flicked the ball to his right-hand side for Christian Romero. Grimsby 3-1 up at home to Everton's youngsters in the Football League trophy. Both of those sides already out of the competition. Romero goes out towards Pedro Porro, who's taken a touch, works it back inside. Romero to Vicario, controls it with his left foot, flicks it off with his right, down towards Van der Ven. Simons drops deep and picks it up and then turns beautifully to get away from Suzuki. He's unlucky that he then stumbles and the ball flicks off his trailing foot and goes out of play for a throw that Larsson will take quickly for Copenhagen. But it's comfortable. They haven't been magnificent since they took the lead, Danny, and you've talked about the tempo needing to be higher, but they have thrown a couple of really good moves together latterly.
Yeah, they have, and there's been some good moments, some positive moments for the fans to enjoy. There's obviously a way to go for them to get more consistent in this and grow in confidence, especially at home because of the expectation and the pressure of recent results. But some good signs for Thomas Frank. I still think the urgency could be a little bit more, especially when you know that the team you're playing against is there for the taking.
You're listening to the Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. 90 seconds to go to half-time. There's not going to be too much time added on at the end of the first half, I wouldn't think. Clem is making his way forward through the heart of the midfield for Copenhagen. The ball is laid back for Greek international Pantelis Hatzidakis, who scored a stoppage-time own goal against Leverkusen back on match day 1. Now Moukoko. To his left for El Yunusi. Good ball in from him. Ashuri clipping it in. And it takes a deflection. Hits the side netting. And goes out of play for another corner.
Good intricate play from Copenhagen. Ashuri it was who tried to have the shot. Might have been better looking for one of his teammates there in the bottom. He had good numbers in there.
Now Balogun, the former Arsenal man, has given Monaco the lead in Norway away to Bodo Glimt. Both of those sides looking for their first win of the competition this season. And Monaco are ahead coming up to half-time. Spurs ahead coming up to half-time in this one after Brennan Johnson's goal on 19 minutes. We're in the last scheduled minute of the first half here on TalkSport. In comes a corner. Vicario has caught it. That's probably the most difficult thing he's had to do tonight. There's plenty of whip on that. And I think it would have just come in off the post and gone in. And he had to take a hasty step back and make sure that his handling was clean above his head. But it was.
His handling's been good on a few occasions tonight. The big difference is that he doesn't get here, that he gets in the Prem, is people on him and standing on him. He hasn't had that tonight, so it's easier for him, but his handling's been good.
Doggy trying to poke the ball forward for Wilson. Odobert has missed him. Copenhagen can get it back as we go into just one extra minute. Vicario having to backpedal quickly. Porra beautifully brings a long ball down for the Copenhagen goalkeeper. Ashuri was chasing after that. Porra looking over his shoulder, just killed it on the top of his right boot and took the left winger out of the picture. And Spurs will just be able to calm things down at the back with Bentancur. Looks as though they're going to have the half-time advantage here as they look to extend their unbeaten home run in Europe to 22. Simons back to the edge of the centre circle for Romero, who points with the index finger of his left hand, showing Kolo Muani where he wants him to make the run. Simons has got it now. Simons in for Kolo Muani, who's missed. Header, 7 yards out, got to score. He's put it over the bar.
Well, that was the Simons we know. That's the Simons that got him the attention of so many top clubs. Little flicks and tricks and 1-2s and popping up in space and then putting in a beautiful ball. I mean, I was singing Moani's praises before, but the two bits you want a striker to do is put the ball in the net. He's failed miserably. Rest of his game's been good. That is a big, big miss. This game should be done. Well,
he's had two really good chances. Spurs have been excellent in parts. They took the goal beautifully through Brennan Johnson on 19 minutes. Colin Moani should have made it safe already, but at half-time it's still Spurs 1, Copenhagen 0. We're
playing 2 minutes of added time here at Anfield, where it is still Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0, but we had all sorts of drama and controversy, which we'll round up for you very shortly. It's a big foul right in the centre circle, yellow card. I mean, that was a scything down. That could easily have been a red, Matt Jones, and it could have been Real Madrid down to 10.
Yeah, it could have. It's Akatike who's gone down. He was trying to break forward and play a ball out to the Liverpool right, and he gets just wiped out by Hussein there in the centre circle, and the referee was only a couple of yards behind it. It was the easiest decision he's had to make all evening, but that's not going to say that he was going to get it right based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, extraordinary scenes early, which we'll go into very shortly. But Danny Murphy, listen, Spurs are 1-0 up, and they've actually played better, certainly better than they did on Saturday, and this is more like the Spurs that the fans want to see, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the goal's given everybody a boost. You can see the players' confidence grow. They're also playing a poor team, I've got to be honest. So there's plenty of space, and they're a bit sharp at Tottenham. But Simons is the main beneficiary of that. His confidence has grown, and Moani's had two wonderful chances. They should be 3 up, really. They're two really easy chances. But yeah, lots to be positive about. Still got to be wary of not letting this game slip now, because there's at 1-0 you never know, and I expect Copenhagen to be better. But yeah, I think Thomas Frank will be reasonably happy.
Spurs 1-0 up, and the half-time whistle's just gone here at Anfield, and we are all square and goalless, Matt Jones.
We are indeed. Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0, but dare I say it, Liverpool have been the better team in the opening 45 minutes here at Anfield. They've had 3 shots on target. All of them have fallen to Dominic Szoboszlai, one of them from point-blank range after being set up by Wirtz, and that one saved by Courtois, and then 2 fizzing efforts from outside the area that the keeper did really well to dive to his right and save. 2 big moments of controversy here, though, in the first half. The first of them, it was another Szoboszlai shot from outside the area. Actually, it cannoned into the arm of Tchouameni from point-blank range. The referee originally blew for a free kick. He was then asked to have a look at it by VAR because it was potentially inside the area. He came and looked at the monitor and decided it wasn't a free kick or a foul whatsoever, even though by the letter of the law it quite clearly hit his hand and should have been a foul. And then at the other end we saw Vinicius Jr., who was booked earlier on for a really poor foul chasing back on Conor Bradley. He went down in the area. There was no contact from what I saw. The referee didn't give a foul, he didn't give a penalty, nor did he book Vinicius for diving, and the Liverpool fans not happy with that. But an action-packed and exciting first half. Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0.
Yeah, plenty to talk about. And Danny Murphy, I know you've seen this handball incident. It's truly, for me, inexplicable, although common sense to me says it's not a penalty. Letter of the law probably suggests it should be a penalty. In the end, it looks like he gives a Real Madrid free kick after going to the monitor, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around. So can you make any sense of it?
Well, I'm with you. I don't think it's a penalty ever, especially what we watch in the Prem every week. That's never getting given because his arm's on in an unnatural place and he's getting it blasted at him from quite a close thing. So I don't think it's a pen. The contention for me comes from in European football and Champions League or Europa League, 9 out of 90% of the times we see a handball in the box, it's given, irrelevant of where the arms are. I mean, the rules allow the officials to let that not be a penalty because of his arm position and the proximity of the shot. So they've got no problem in explaining that after. I think the big disgruntlement from everybody is that in European football, every time we watch games, that's given. So why isn't it tonight? That's the difficulty. But I don't think it's a pen.
No, I'm with you. I think common sense, which is, VAR has eliminated a lot of common sense, in my opinion, over the last 5 or 6 years that it's been in place. I think if it was, there'd be a whole load of scrutiny, and it might be one of those where on the Howard Webb TV show he says, he maybe says that it shouldn't have been a pen. But listen, I don't know about handball anymore. I mean, I just don't know. You could have the law book, you could have it in front of you, you can read it out and you can interpret it. But I think we're all still in the dark. VAR's made it no clearer, has it?
Well, I mean, I deal with this a lot in my work when I go through the rules. That I know that body in an unnatural position has to be an interpretation of the ref. That's not an unnatural position when I've seen that. Then you can judge the proximity of the shot. So you could argue that with Szoboszlai hitting the ball, he's quite close to him, and the speed he hits the ball, his arm isn't moving away from the body to try and make himself bigger. That's for sure. It kind of ticks all the boxes for the referee. Look, I think if that's in the Premier League and the ref gets called over and says it's not a pen, most people are applauding him. I know I'm a Liverpool fan, but that's not a penalty. The difficulty is if Madrid get or if we see one Madrid last week or Barca next week or Munich or whatever, they tend to give them in Europe. That's going to be the bit that everybody's confused about.
Yeah, they are. And
that's where I'm confused.
I mean, the fact that it's a shot and it's heading towards the goal and it hits the hand, which stops it going towards the goal, probably comes into a lot of people's thinking as well. But I'm stepping back. And I'm not looking at the law book. And, don't castigate me for that. But I'm saying football common sense, football logic says you can't give a penalty. But he had given the free kick thinking it was outside the box and then discovers it's inside the box. So, and I said at the time... I said at the time, he's given a free kick, but I don't think he would have given a penalty if he thought it was in the box. I think he's thought to himself, I can give this because it's outside. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to be controversial.
I know what you mean, but isn't that wrong in itself?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
It's totally wrong, isn't it? And you make a great point that I didn't think of. If he's given it because he thought it was handball, I mean, I suppose what he could have thought, by the time he went over there, he could have thought he moved his arm towards the ball. It happens so quickly, doesn't it? I think all in all, I saw the Szoboszlai chance he should have scored. That's a bad miss. The performance has been really good, apparently, from what I'm hearing and getting messages. Liverpool shouldn't be relying on a controversial 50-50 refereeing decision for a penalty to win the game, should they?
No, you're
It'd be
absolutely
nice,
bang
but
on.
they don't need to rely on it.
No, but you're right. All your messages are correct as well. Liverpool have played really well. They've had some good efforts at goal. Thibaut Courtois with an amazing strong hand right at the end to keep out a Szoboszlai shot. So, I think Liverpool have been the better side, but it is Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0 at half-time here at Anfield. We've got another goal at St Andrews, early second half in the Championship, Dave Rowe.
Birmingham 3, Millwall 0. Probably game over already. Really, Alex Cotran with a tremendous strike from just the edge of the D here. The combination down the right-hand side by Roberts and Iwata. Iwata with the cross headed out towards the edge of the box. Cochrane arriving from full back on his left foot, took it first time. Brilliant strike. I have to say it was close to the keeper, Crocombe. It went flying past him, and Birmingham, who scored 4 at the weekend, have now scored 3 so far here. Birmingham 3, Millwall 0.
There's been other goals in the Championship as well, early second half. Hull have equalised at Derby. Joel Ndala's got the goal 5 minutes after the restarts. Luis Diaz in first half added time in the 52nd minute has been sent off. So he's got a couple of goals for Bayern Munich. He's also been sent off, the former Liverpool man. That should make it interesting. PSG 0. Bayern Munich 2 in the Parc des Princes in a big one. Stoke have got a third at Oxford. Lewis Baker with his second of the evening. Stoke going really well. We'll be at Stoke against Coventry on Saturday for Game Day Live on Talksport. And Atletico Madrid had a second goal, a volley from Antoine Griezmann, but it's been ruled out, and at half-time it's Atletico Madrid 1, Union Saint-Gilloise 0. Plenty going on in the first half then, but it's 0-0 here at Anfield. It's 1-0 to Spurs live on Talksport. You're listening to the Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Perfect date night at home. Love songs cued, cushions fluffed. There was just one thing missing. the food. But look at you now. With Deliveroo, you brought date night home in as little as 25 minutes. Their favourite pasta from the local Italian, nailed it. Or the perfect wine from your favourite supermarket, order it in. Deliveroo, now just got even better. Subject to availability, delivery times vary. See in-app geographical restrictions, service and delivery fees and terms apply. 18 plus, drink responsibly.
At Betfair, we believe that to play different, you need the right tools. The boots, the world-class tactics, the science-backed nutrition. The pros have their tools, and with Betfair, so do you. Our safer gambling tools work just like the right pair of boots, designed to keep you on top of your game. Open the Betfair app to equip yourself so you can bet at your best. Betfair. Play different.
18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Searching for the brightest Black Friday deals? Then look no further, because at Tesco Mobile you'll get the iPhone 16 with 25 gigs of data and an iPad, all for just $39.99 a month with Club Card prices, saving you £252. Plus you'll get frozen prices until the end of your contract, Club Card points on every bill and more. It pays to be connected. Search Tesco Mobile. Every little helps. Ends 1st of December. Club Card and 36-month credit agreement required. Savings calculated on contract duration. Terms at tescomobile.com/terms.
This Tuesday, Amazon brings the unmissable UEFA Champions League match.
Unbelievable!
Liverpool versus Real Madrid.
Mohamed Salah! What a strike!
The UEFA Champions League, Tuesday from 6:30 p.m. It's on Prime.
This season, LiveScore Bet is bringing you more ways to win with our weekly promotions. No goal, no problem. Far payout to the rescue. Leading at the break, celebrate your ACCA early with halftime heroes. 2 goals ahead, cha-ching, rest easy and enjoy the game courtesy of 2 Up. Celebrate every goal, every twist and turn this season with LiveScore Bet, bringing you more ways to win. LiveScore Bet. Total betting. Eligible leagues and markets vary. Full T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Imagine a place where you can escape for a day. Get immersed in a world of rooms, inspiration and expertise. Where you can laze in luxury accommodation. And kids can feast from 95 pence. Tickets are free to everyone and include all the attractions. You've just imagined a day out at IKEA. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
If your client is not happy with the quality of your work and wants compensation because they allege it's amateurish, unprofessional and childlike, Hiscox could help protect you. The story of your business, underwritten by Hiscox Business Insurance. Subject to already holding a relevant Hiscox policy and subject policy eligibility, terms and conditions.
Big game this week. Want to bet? Stop and think. Because sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. Gamble responsibly. Bet Fred. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. King of football commentary. Kick-off live on Talksport.
Right, let's round up the Champions League very quickly. Napoli 0, Frankfurt 0 was an early kick-off, goalless there. Arsenal won 3-0 away to Slavia Prague. Bukayo Saka and a couple for Mikel Merino. Half-times, Atletico Madrid 1, Union Saint-Gilloise 0, Bodo Glimt 0, Monaco 1, Juventus 1, Sporting 1, Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0 here at Anfield, Olympiacos 1, PSV 0, Gelson Martins nearly breaking the net, PSG 0, Bayern Munich 2, Luis Diaz with both, and then he got sent off at the end of the first half. And live on TalkSport, Spurs 1, Copenhagen 0. Brennan Johnson with the only goal of the game so far. So let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
So Spurs 1, Copenhagen 0. Spurs are 11-2 on to win. The draw 5-1. Copenhagen out to 16-1. Here at Anfield, it's well poised. Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0. The Reds are 8-5 to win. Real are 21-10. The draw 7-4. It's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus. Begambleaware.org.
Odds Update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Back to Spurs. Shortly, Spurs 1, Copenhagen 0. This game is brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. But let's go round the grounds in the Championship to Leicester first of all. Talksport's Jeff Peters.
It's Leicester 1, Middlesbrough 0. Jordan Ayew with a penalty in first half stoppage time after just a ridiculous handball from Hayden Hackney. What was he doing? Leicester forced into a change at the break. 38-year-old Asmir Begovic on for his debut for the club, his first senior game since April 2024. Stelarczyk had to go off with an injury. Whittaker with a chance to level for the Borough early in the second half. It's Leicester 1, Middlesbrough 0.
And what's happening at the Valley in the Championship? Ian Abrahams.
Still Charlton 0, West Brom 0. Good chances at both ends. Inning Julia Curl one just wide for the Baggies. We also saw Isaac Price denied by Kaminski from 6 yards out. The other end, Sonny Carey, good goal-scoring form recently, 25 yards out. Good save to his left-hand side by Josh Griffiths, who saved the first half penalty from the Charlton captain, Greg Docherty. It's Charlton 0, West Brom 0.
Elsewhere in the Championship, Birmingham 3 up against Millwall. Blackburn lead 1-0 at Bristol City. Derby 1, Hull City 1, Ipswich 1, Watford 1, Oxford 0, Stoke City 3, Lewis Baker with 2. And live on Talksport 2, it's Coventry City 0, Sheffield United 1 at half-time. In League 1, Burton are 1 up at Rotherham United, Kyle Lofthouse 6 minutes after the restart. Teams on their way back out in North London. Tottenham Hotspur leading Copenhagen by 1-0 in the Champions League, looking for their second victory in this league stage. It's live on TalkSport with the former Spurs and Liverpool midfielder Danny Murphy alongside Jim Proudfoot.
And Copenhagen are making a change at half-time, Adrian. The very highly rated, prodigiously talented Icelandic striker Viktor Daderson is coming on. It's only the 6th senior appearance of his career. Came off the bench to score against Dortmund a couple of weeks ago. They've got really high hopes for him. And Daderson, tall, about 6'3", 6'4", shocker blonde hair, and he's leading the line with Makoko playing off him. And Larson is the player that has been replaced. Spurs on the front foot from the very off. Odebear in towards Brennan Johnson, who'd made a run through the 6-yard box and has been hurt as he made an attempt to play the ball in the near post area. He's gone down and play has stopped. Well, they turned over possession. They worked it out towards the left-hand side. Odebear with a great ball in. Johnson making the run. Just couldn't quite get the contact that he wanted. I do feel as though a second goal will kill Copenhagen off. They've had plenty of chances to find it already. Johnson down hurt and not getting any sympathy from the referee. He's back on his feet. He's going to be able to continue, Danny.
Yeah, the lad just landed on him, I think, as he fell over. But it was like a delayed response. He looks all right now.
It is Johnson who... His goal is the difference between the two teams on a game being played out in front of 40-odd thousand as opposed to 60-odd thousand here in North London tonight. As Johnson is involved again here and he's clotheslined his opponent. He got nutmegged and then the left-back Lopez was trying to get past him and Johnson just stuck out a hand.
Didn't need to.
Brought him to the ground, and then Lopez is just shaking his hand as he gets back to his feet without complaint.
Bentancur was right behind him. He would have had possession back, a bit lazy that. I know he's just got injured, so he's probably just regathering himself.
That game in League One, Burton have scored twice in 3 or 4 minutes. They lead at Rotherham by 2-0, which will do their relegation battle the world of good. The Brewers looking for a third straight win, found their form under Gary Bowyer. It's a free throw which will be taken on the Spurs left-hand side by Destiny Udogie. Who gets the ball back and has controlled it, but only after it has come back over the touchline. So the throw now goes Suzuki's way. About 20 yards from his own corner flag. 2.5 minutes into the second half. Now, this game brought to you with TNT Sports, the home of European football. 1-0 Spurs lead. As the ball is brought down by Bentancur in the midfield. Trying to get Spurs going again. He's done well. Good ball retention. Porro coming onto it. Urge to shoot. Thinks better of it. Johnson in a much better position. A high and wide of him to his right-hand side. Johnson then working it down the right-hand side of the penalty area. Simons. Oh, he's won his battle to keep that in. He did brilliantly. stuck his foot to it. Can't get across him, but he can lay it back for Porro. Back heel flick from him. Back to Xavi Simons. Now to Bentancur. Spurs taking a step back to go forward again with Romero finding Van der Ven. Van der Ven trying to get the ball away from Moukoko. Slides in on the far touchline. He's kept it in, but has presented it straight to Dardison. And that meant that Romero had to cover a lot of ground and then wide into a challenge on the 17-year-old to get the ball away for a throw.
Yeah, but you know what? All that comes because Simons and Porro messing around down on this right-hand side. Try and make the cross. 2 or 3 times they could have crossed. It wasn't quite perfect. Still try anyway, because you'll get deflection, you'll get corner. Safe.
Spurs leading here 1-0. Liverpool still 0-0, and we'll keep you up to date with regular updates from Anfield. The second half underway as well at the CBS. Coventry trailing Sheffield United by 1-0, and that is our live EFL game for you over on Talksport 2 right now, as again the Talksport network brings you a choice of listening, as we will tomorrow. 3 Champions League games for you tomorrow. Karabakh Chelsea, followed by Newcastle against Bilbao on Talksport 2, kicking off at 5:45 and 8 o'clock respectively. And this time tomorrow here on Talksport, Manchester City at home to Borussia Dortmund. Copenhagen making their way down the right-hand touchline. Sarr is in there and is at pains to show that there is no foul. Assistant referee, who is well placed, concurs. So it's a throw into Spurs, followed by another one, which they will take on that far side as Richarlison is sent out to warm up. He's scored in only 2 of his last 23 games, without a goal in his last 9. Out to warm up at the moment. I mean, there is very little first team experience of note on the bench for Spurs tonight. You're allowed to name 12 subs. Spurs have only named 10. 3 of them have never played for the club. The ball is on the Spurs right, in their right back position. Porro and Johnson making a little bit of a mess of that, and Romero had to come and clean up at the expense of a corner.
Bit scruffy. Porro got himself in a bit of trouble there. It's a nice touch actually from Dardison. Ball went up to him, fired in. It was a really good touch, and that's what set them up for that attack. It was a nice opening touch from him, the sub.
I said it had gone out of play for a corner. It must have hit Dardison last. Goal kick taken. Now comes the goalkeeper again. Oh, Colin Mawani's got there first. He's charged it down, brings it down inside the 6-yard box, gets it onto his right foot, and it's slaughtered in for 2 by Paps Abaya Onabert. And Spurs double the advantage, and the goalkeeper again criminally at fault. The first half he raced out of his penalty area and didn't get there. This time he didn't know whether to come out or not. By the time he took the decision to come out, Colin Mawani was right on top of him. The keeper's clearance hit him, spoons high up in the air. And although Colin Mawani couldn't get in a position to hit it first time into the empty net, he kept his nerve, lays it back for Wilson Onabert, who slots in, and he marks the 100th game of his senior career with his first goal of the season, 2-0.
Well, it's great work from Mawani, nice and tenacious, closing the keeper down. Great touch, by the way, and patience. That's the right thing to do. It was difficult to try and score on your own with that touch out of the sky, so he made sure he got it under control. The keepers have him one, by the way. Great touch from Mawani, and he gets the support from Odeberg, slots it in the corner. That should be the game, but the keeper has gifted that to Spurs. But well done, Mawani, really good.
Well, I think he's just going through one of those runs at the moment, Dominic Katarski. Well, they'll bring it forward immediately at the other end and try and get El Yunusi in, Copenhagen, but it's cleared up by Udogi, who tracked him every step of the way from left back into a central position to clear. They do have the one-time Arsenal keeper, Alex Runarsson, on the bench.
Well, he must be having a really tough time in training if he can't get in the team, because the keeper tonight has looked so short on confidence. Awareness of space and where he is on the pitch is all over the place. I know that can happen when your confidence goes, but the first goal, and that one in particular, just no confidence or belief. Positioning was wrong, weak in the tackle.
Well, it's as if the mistake that he made in the first half has now cost them 2 goals, because it looked as though he was playing on his mind there.
Maybe.
Where had he come out with conviction for the second one, he gets it away, no problem at all.
Exactly.
Listen, it's a very easy game to play from up here.
It is. I just think at this level, we're talking Champions League level, your keeper's got to do better. But let's credit Muani. I mean, the speed of the press, and then the awareness. He must be desperate for a goal after those 2 misses, and he still thinks, no, I'll take a touch and square it because it's the right thing to do. And I like that from a player.
Guys, given away by Romero, one back by Daddison onto the right foot of Makoko, whose curling effort was on target. Vicario can still make a comfortable save. What a night for Birmingham City, Dave Rowe.
Birmingham City 4, Millwall 0. Jay Stansfield with the 4th. A running riot here, and it's really too easy. Doyle and Peck combining in midfield. Keshi Anderson, lovely ball through, and Stansfield slammed it home. Birmingham 4, Millwall 0.
And live on Talksport 2 in the 8 o'clock kickoff, Coventry have equalised at home to Sheffield United with a goal from Sakamoto, his 4th of the season. For Cov, who are looking for a 7th win in 8 to extend their lead at the top of the table. Second place Middlesbrough losing at Leicester at the moment. Coventry 1, Sheffield United 1, and if it stays that way, they'll be 2 points clear of Stoke, who will move up to second because they're 3-0 up at Oxford. Here's Lopez. The Peruvian's just been caught from behind there. It's going to be a yellow card. And
poor tackle.
A daft one as well to give away from Brennan Johnson, who was lucky perhaps to get away with the foul early in the half on Lopez. He doesn't get away with that one. He's booked.
It's actually one area of his game he's really got to improve, because he does come up with a lot of goals. He's great when they get in behind and he can get on the end of things, but he's more reactive when he does his defending than proactive, and he's always having to chase and lunge and gets caught out a lot.
VAR's just having a look at the incident as well to make sure that it is the correct decision, and it is a yellow card and not a red. The VAR tonight is the Belgian Bram van Driessen, who is one of the continent's most experienced VAR officials.
Yeah, I think it's the right decision.
I'm not sure Mr. Van Driessen does, because they're having a long look at this.
Well, when he slides in, he's trying to get the ball, and because he slides along, he's going to have a look.
And this could be a red card for Brennan Johnson. He's been invited over to the monitor, so he's gone in, he's trying to play the ball, and it's like the Achilles on his right foot has bounced down into the ground, and that means that his right foot has then come up and has made contact with the back of the leg of the opponent.
Yeah. And when you slow it down, it looks awful. When you make we can see a still of it now, where the foot connects. But it's a genuine attempt to get the ball, and then it bounces, as you say, off the ground into it. Yeah, I mean, it will be unlucky if he gets a red for this. I think he might, because of the fact that where he catches him is really dangerous, but he didn't mean to do that, Brennan Johnson.
So the referee's had a look, he's come back, he draws the box in the air, the yellow card is going to be wiped out, and it's going to be replaced by a red. Brennan Johnson's off, and Spurs 2 up, are down to 10 men.
Well, that is a huge problem, because now for 34 minutes they're going to have to defend, and they're going to have to be organised when they were absolutely cruising. He could have been thinking about resting players for the weekend, could have think a couple of getting the young lads on. Now the goalkeeper's gone down with a hamstring injury by the looks of it.
Danny's gone down. I'm prepared to bet he hasn't got a hamstring injury. I think he's looked at this, Vicario, and he's realised they've gone down to 10 men. They need to tactically reshuffle, so he'll go down in need of treatment so that Thomas Frank can get the message across to his players. While he's doing that, let's hot-foot it back to Anfield. Here's Talksport's Matt Jones.
Still Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0 with 10 minutes gone in the second half, but Liverpool have had 3 huge chances after the break. The first of them falling to Van Dijk, a header that was spectacularly tipped over the bar by Courtois, who then repeated that trick from the following corner with an Ekitike header. And then we've also seen Szoboszlai have a fiercely struck free kick punched clear as well. Liverpool really are creating the chances. It's just a case of whether they can finally knock down the door. Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0.
And back around the grounds in the Championship as well. First to the Valley, Charlton West Brom, Ian Abrahams.
Still Charlton 0, West Brom 0. 2 chances for Price and 1 inning junior for West Brom in the second half. Carey with a shot saved. This could be destined for 0-0. Charlton 0, West Brom 0.
To the East Midlands, Leicester Middlesbrough, Jeff Peters.
Leicester leading Borough 1-0 through that Jordan Ayew penalty. 6 shots for the visitors since the restart, none on target. They're not really knocking hard at the Leicester door. Leicester 1, Borough 0.
And Birmingham leading Millwall by 4 goals to 0, as we heard moments ago from Dave Rowe. Over on Talksport 2, Coventry 1-1 with Sheffield United. Copenhagen supporters in good spirits and voice despite the situation, bobbing up and down. Spurs, Vicario's okay to continue, I'm delighted to say, and not surprised. The ball is over with Lopez, just coming in off the left flank. He's pulled it back for Hatzidakos, and down for Lopez again. Well, it'll be interesting to see whether the Danes can really attack with conviction. Ball inside the penalty area here, not that far too high for Leraire, who's making his way forward quickly.
No, that you see, there was no pressure on the delivery there, which is hard if he's on his own halfway line. But when he's halfway in your half, 10 men or not, you've got to get pressure on the ball. Can't just allow him to get his head up and pick men out.
Ball goes out of play. Touch from Audebert. Throw taken quickly. Clem can get it forward. Mukoko into the feet of Darison. One back well, though, by Spurs in the midfield with Simons. Colin Moani. Clever little drag back with his left foot and then flicked it with his right in behind his left leg. He's then brought down by Clem. And it's a free kick going to be taken by Spurs 10 yards inside their own half. They're 2 goals to the good here on Talksport. They're going to make a change and we're going to see Simons come off and Palinha will come on. There's certainly no reflection on Xavi Simons' performance, and you'll be able to hear the receptions he gets as he leaves the field. It's been excellent, but they just need a more defensive-minded body behind the ball now. They're down to 10.
Yeah, it's one of his best performances in a Spurs shirt. He's done some brilliant things. He can be pleased. I know he looks disappointed, but actually he'll be pleased when he wakes up in the morning, well, as long as they win, because his performance was as good as we've seen in terms of creativity, a bit of bravery. The fans have taken to him a little bit. All positive for him.
So João Palinha on, the midfielder on loan from Bayern. And here's Bentancur.
I think Sarr will play on the right of that midfield 4, won't he?
That looks as though it's how they've set up. Spurs 4-4-1 now. Audebert out on the left, Sarr on the right, and then they've got Palinha and Bentancur in the middle. Bentancur's starting position just a little bit ahead of the substitute. And Ranakolo Muani leading the line, and the ball is deflected and into his path. And now he's got the opportunity to run at Gabriel. Options to his left, bulldozes his way through, and the goalkeeper Katarski comes out, makes himself big. The ball hits him, and he's made the save.
It's unlucky from Muani. Good positive run again, using his speed and his power.
Now Copenhagen try to thread a Shorey in, but that's well read by Udogi, who can guide it back to Vicario, who will save. The game's going to be increasingly stretched now. Spurs leading 2-0. Johnson and Audebert with the goals, but Johnson subsequently sent off at the insistence of the VAR. The ball from Ashuri finds Moyel Yanusi. El Yanusi in the heart of the midfield. Coming forward now, it's knocked away. Colin Muani back towards Palinha and then out towards Udogi. He's been caught by a challenge from Suzuki over on the far touchline that will earn the Japanese international a yellow card.
It's good play from Spurs. The irony is now for Tottenham is the slowing of the game down, and passing the ball is crucial. You don't want to be having to attack all the time, give the ball away.
Well, Coventry have turned it around at home to Sheffield United. Goal down at half-time. They lead 2-1 now. Bobby Thomas has put them ahead. And the deadlock is broken at Anfield. Matt Jones.
And it has been coming. Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0. Finally breaking the deadlock through Alexis McAllister with a header from point blank range. It's a whipped free kick into the area by Szoboszlai after a foul by Bellingham on Gravenberch. McAllister rises unmarked and he finally beats Thibaut Courtois. It's no more than Liverpool deserve. Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0.
Real Madrid have won 13 of their last 14 and 6 in a row, trailing to a Liverpool side who've lost 6 of their last 8 but have been well on top tonight. Alexis McAllister's first goal of the season. The difference between the two teams, I mean, it is very close to being offside. I'm sure that very close errs in Liverpool's favour. I think it'll be okay, but they lead by a goal nil after that powerful header. 18 minutes gone, the second half. And the VAR obviously is going to be having a look at it, Danny. You've had one look at it. What do you reckon?
Oh, it's tight. I mean, I can only see it once. I think he could have gone a tad early, but I'm really hoping I'm wrong. It's a great header and a great ball in.
El Yunusi's giving it away here at Tottenham. Oh, Mickey van der Ven, what a run this is. 50 yards, 60 yards. What a goal. 3-0 Spurs lead. And it doesn't matter how long he plays here. They will talk about that one for years. He's picked it up on the edge of his own penalty area. And he has raced through the gears. Breathtakingly quick. And he's left them all in his wake. The centre-half striding forward, drawing the goalkeeper, thrashing it into the net. Spurs 3, Copenhagen 0. Mickey van der Ven, stand up and take a bow for one of the great moments of your career.
Well, that's going to be one of those goals where Tottenham supporters are going to say, I was there the night Mickey van der Ven picked it up on his own 18-yard box and ran past 5 players. And then decided, I'm not going to get close in, I'm going to smash it in the bottom corner. He started on his 18-yard box. What a goal. What pace. Composure to get the finish. And the crowd went mad with that one. They loved it.
What a difference 3 days can make. He left the field here on Saturday night, not looking at his coach, not shaking his hand.
Well, he gave the goal away, didn't he? As well. Disappointed. Probably slept terribly. He'll sleep well tonight.
Well, you say that, he'll still have the adrenaline pumping.
True.
He'll be sitting at home watching it on repeat. He won't be sleeping at all.
Footballers don't do that.
Oh, that's stunning. I mean, irrespective of the context of the game, but just when it looked as though there might be a little bit of jeopardy with Copenhagen trying to get themselves back into it with a numerical advantage, Van der Ven breaks their hearts. Oh, what a goal that is. You remember, and I'm sorry, Spurs fans, I know you'll be shouting the answer to this question at the radio. A Glenn Hoddle goal that he scored that wasn't dissimilar, it wasn't as pacey as that, but he picked it up and all of a sudden just strolled through, maybe against Watford all those years ago.
I think it was is that the one where they all tried to squeeze up and he played it and then got on the end of it himself?
I mean, it's not dissimilar to that. And here they come again. He's 3 against
Romero.
1. On the bear, slipping it in. Christian Romero. Polina! It's 4. It's 2 in 2 minutes. Another brilliant counter-attack. 3 against 1. Ball played for Romero. Not the most convincing pass.
No.
Polina on the slide. Whacks it goal bound and the keeper helps it in. Tottenham 4, Copenhagen 0. What an analgesic this is to the misery of the weekend.
Well, the space is there because the sending off meant that Copenhagen thought that they're going to get some chances and they've started committing men forward. But when Tottenham break with the pace and quality they've got, they're wide open. I don't know what Romero's doing up there, by the way, but what a little ball from him to get Paulina on the back post. He might be a yard offside. We'll have to wait and see. Doesn't really matter in a bigger scheme, I think.
4-0. Spurs leading. That Liverpool goal, incidentally, did count. It was close, but the McAllister goal did count. This one counts as well. It must have been close. The semi-automated offside technology indicating that he'd timed his run well enough. 2 goals with 11 men, and 2 in double quick time with 10. 4-0 Spurs leading Copenhagen. 1-0 Liverpool leading Real Madrid. Well, they're going to be able to beat them at home in the Champions League for a second successive season. Looking that way. Here comes Spurs once more. It's Sarr running towards the edge of the penalty area. The ball flicked in. Colin Mawani, goalkeeper, comes out. Narrows the angle, makes the save. Well, I think we know what the tactic is for future games. Get someone sent off, create space.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually really wanted Mawani to finish that. I know he's missed a couple of sitters, but he's had a really productive evening. He's been a real handful. He's quick, he's strong.
2 goals in 2 minutes and 42 seconds. That was the difference in time between the ball hitting the net for 3-0 and 4-0 when you consider the Van der Ven celebration. It's probably only about a minute from kickoff to the 4th goal, maybe a minute and a half. 4-0 Spurs, they're down to 10 men. Johnson, the first ever British player to score and then be sent off in a Champions League game. Spurs play the ball back outside the penalty area to Rodrigo Bentancur. Now out to the far touchline again. Destiny Udogie. Spurs fans singing, "We know what we are, champions of Europe." Pedro Porro coming in off the right flank. And down to the right hand side for Sarr. Sarr just standing with the studs of the boot of his right boot on top of the ball, getting it back inside the penalty area after a 1-2 with Colin Mawani.
Good touch from Mawani, wasn't it? Nice again, nice awareness. They're enjoying it. Springing the step. They all want the ball, they're all enjoying it. Looks like they've got the extra man.
It certainly doesn't look like a numerical disadvantage, does it?
No.
Far from it. Here's Clem in the heart of the Copenhagen midfield as Derby go 2-1 up at home to Hull with a goal from Lars-Jørgen Salvesen. Remember, at the top of the Championship, Coventry leading 2-1, second place Middlesbrough trailing at Leicester, third place Stoke 3 up at Oxford. They will go up to second if the scores stay as they are. This one 4-0 to Spurs as the ball is sent in high towards the far post and headed back through the penalty area and knocked away out towards Sarr. I'll tell you something, Danny, it's a privilege to have seen that Mickey van der Ven goal.
Yeah, special. It's a special one. I mean, to go from your 18-yard box and then score at the other 18-yard box on your own is just, he sets off, goes past 2 initially, then a third, then a 4th, and the 5th one can't catch him. And then the finish, to be fair, it's a brilliant finish. I don't know how he still had the energy to go and celebrate after running that far. Adrenaline. I remember him having a great run. I can't think who was against now, where he ran the whole length of the pitch and then I think he squared it or crossed it for someone to score in a Prem game. Obviously not quite like as good as scoring yourself, but something where you saw that wonderful ability to get forward like he can. Maybe it would suit him even more playing in a 3.
Yeah.
Because I know he's played fullback at times as well, hasn't he, for his country on a few occasions.
Yep. It's a time for a raft of changes. Colin Mawani isn't going to get his goal tonight. He's coming off. Richarlison is going to come on to replace him. We're going to see Spence for Udogie and we're going to see Danso for Romero. Spurs in the happy position that they can rest some legs for the game against Manchester United here, live on Talksport this Saturday lunchtime at 12:30. While the changes are being made, we'll go back to Anfield. Here's Talksport's Matt Jones.
Still Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0 with 20 minutes left to go, but Real Madrid are really pressing Liverpool back now. They haven't had many chances, but they've thrown Rodrigo on in place of Camavinga, so an extra forward coming onto the field, and I do wonder if Liverpool are going to slip deeper and deeper as this game wears on. Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0.
Elsewhere in the Champions League, Atletico Madrid 1, Saint-Gilloise 0. Monaco leading at Werder Glimt 1-0. Juventus 1, Sporting 1. Olympiacos 1, PSV 0. Bayern Munich have seen Luis Diaz score twice and then get sent off. They 2-0 up at PSG. And Spurs down to 10 men, 4-0 up here against Copenhagen. It's the Danish side who are in possession. Yet another Champions League game in which they've conceded 2 or more. And Spurs playing their way out of their goal drought quite sensationally. Lopez with the ball in. They're going to get a corner, Copenhagen. Mind you, Spurs scored for the last one because that was what led to Van der Ven bringing the ball away with such pace from the edge of his own penalty area. But it is a 6th Copenhagen corner, which will be taken on the left-hand side. 73 gone here on Talksport. It's 4-0.
When he was going through, I was actually thinking hamstring. Because they've got big games coming up.
Corner swung in towards the edge of the 6-yard box and easily headed away back in from Clem. He's taking the deflection. Daddison is in there waiting. Should be able to get a touch just to work it back outside the box, which he can. But can't get on the end of the return ball from Ashori, and Van der Ven in a much more orthodox duty can thrash it away and out of play for throw.
Yeah, I think for Tottenham it'd be nice defensively. They can see it out and keep a clean sheet because they have conceded goals here. That'll do everyone the world of good, but the game's done, the points are in the bag, and it's a really big evening or a big hurdle that they've overcome tonight in terms of scoring goals, not conceding, but also getting this group of supporters back on board. And I think that the roar we heard when Mickey van der Ven scored that was an incredible noise, wasn't it? Rightly so, because we all enjoyed it.
Listen, it's not just the scoreline, but it's how they've got there.
Yeah.
And we talked before the game started about the need for 3 points in terms of the Champions League group, but possibly more importantly, the performance and the platform that a win would provide going into Manchester United at home, Arsenal away, PSG away, which are the next 3 games either side of the international break. And a lot of sides, as the ball hits the referee here, it's going to be a drop ball Copenhagen's way. A lot of teams still have only played 3 games. Obviously, they're in action tomorrow. But as the table stands right now, Spurs will be up to 7th with 8 points from their 4 games. Liverpool 1 ahead of them with 9 points from their 4 games if they can continue to hold on to their 1-0 lead. Arsenal are 2nd behind only Bayern on goal difference. Bayern and Arsenal, the only teams with 100% records in the Champions League as things stand right now. It's Bayern are 2-0 up away at PSG, whose own 100% record is going. Inter, I'm sorry, I forgot, they're in action tomorrow. They've played 3-1-3 and yet to concede. So they too also with a 100% record right now. Ball headed in by Daddison inside the penalty area. It should be easily cleared. It is. Cornelius has come on as well. The one-time Cardiff City striker is on for Copenhagen, just to try and give them another focal point on attack. He's replaced Mukoko, had a disappointing evening. And Richarlison has just won a free kick foul by Hatzidakos. Let's go back round the grounds in the Championship. First to St Andrews. Great night for Birmingham City. Dave Rowe.
Closing stages, Birmingham 4, Millwall 0, and it could have been worse for the visitors because Kyogo has come on, looks a real live wire up front. He went through one-on-one from Tommy Doyle, through ball saved by Crocombe, and then moments later he fired just wide. Birmingham 4, Millwall 0.
And any sign of the deadlock being broken late on in the valley, Ian?
No, still Charlton 0, West Brom 0. Mikey Johnson had an effort a couple of minutes ago, but we are nailed on here for 0-0. Charlton 0, West Brom 0.
Now, Conor Gallagher's got a second for Atletico Madrid, who lead Union Saint-Gilloise now by 2 goals to 0. Another Englishman on the score sheet in the Champions League. Atletico leading Union Saint-Gilloise 2-0. Live over on Talksport 2, still Coventry leading Sheffield United by 2 goals to 1. And Leicester, you're just a few minutes behind us, Jeff Peters. Leicester still with their noses in front.
Yeah, 87 gone. Leicester lead Borough 1-0. Asmir Begovic, 38 years old, on at half-time as a sub. He's just made a massive save to keep Leicester in front. Leicester 1, Middlesbrough 0.
And elsewhere in the Championship, Blackburn leading at Bristol City 1-0. Still 1-1 between Ipswich and Watford. And Stoke are 3 up at Oxford. And that game in League 1, late on, Rotherham have equalised at home to Burton. Rotherham 2, Burton 2 in the 4th minute of stoppage time. So the points destined to be shared there in South Yorkshire tonight. 12 and a half minutes to go. They won't be shared here. If they are, Spurs will be getting booed off again. 4-0 Tottenham lead. And they're able to bring the ball forward and work it down towards the left-hand side for Marcos Lopez. The Peruvian, the former Feyenoord man, in towards Cornelius. Cornelius with a little backheel flick inside the Spurs penalty area. Doesn't quite break Dardison's way. And Tottenham can get it out towards the right-hand side where a little shove on Pap Sarr sees Copenhagen win it back. An opportunity for Robert, the Brazilian winger, to be able to bring it forward. But again, Spurs with Palhinha can alleviate the threat and get it clear. Once more down to the left flank. Another opportunity for Robert. The high ball swung in from him. Suzuki on his bike at the far post, but has surely handled it. He has. It's a free kick.
He used his handlebars. I don't know what he's thinking there, because he's in a great position, isn't he? It's just poor technique when he tries to chest it down. I think they won that consolation goal, don't they, for give those fans who've been tremendous in the corner something to celebrate. They've come in their numbers, but their team's been really disappointing.
Yeah, about 3,000 Copenhagen supporters here tonight, and as is the Scandinavian way, irrespective of the scoreline, they've been cheering their side on, all very heavily choreographed, scarves being waved around their heads now. No, but nothing to sing about. I would suggest they've got no chance of being able to get out of this group and be playing European football after Christmas. They're going to have 1 point from 4 games, and they were in the bottom 5 in the table coming into this one, but another defeat and a heavy one at that is clearly going to reduce their chances yet further. Spurs are going to make their final change here, down with just over 10 minutes to go. Odebear's coming off, and Dane Scarlett will come on for his first appearance of the season for Spurs.
That's good. We said that when Brennan Johnson got sent off, we thought he was going to lose the opportunity to give maybe 1 or 2 of the youngsters a run, and because of the 4-0, he can now do that, which is great for Scarlett. He's a talented young player, centre forward, who well thought of here.
He has scored in Europe before. In fact, he's only scored 1 Spurs goal, but it did come in continental competition against Elfsborg back in January. There's been a red card at Leicester, Jeff Peters.
It's a red card to Middlesbrough, who trail Leicester 1-0. Alfie Jones hacked down Mavadidi as he raced clear on goal. 5 minutes of added time to play here. Leicester 1, 10-man Borough 0.
And Stoke will end the night in second, as I mentioned, if the scores stay as they are. Ball in from Lopez. It's off the top of Cornelius' head. Dardison in there trying to make something happen as well. Spurs should be able to get it away. They've actually given it away. Clem, 5 yards outside the penalty area. Back for Robert. Right-footed shot from him. Crisp and on target towards the near post. Easily saved by Vicario, who's hoping for his 3rd clean sheet in 4 Champions League matches this season. He'll be very disappointed if it doesn't come from here. With 9 minutes plus stoppage time to go. There is going to be a fair bit of stoppage time to be added on because of the VAR check for the Johnson red card. And also for the raft of changes that were made. Dardison able to emerge with the ball. Opportunity to slip it into his right-hand side, and the shot, an errant one off target from Claesson over the bar and out of play for a goal kick. 4-0 to Tottenham.
Great speed of recovery there from Van der Ven. Porro just got a bit sloppy there. The pass was on to go forward, and he kept dribbling and lost it. Vicario want that clean sheet. We know what keepers are like. Pride themselves on clean sheets, and as you say, it'll be his 3rd one, so just try for the last 10 minutes, whatever's left. Be disciplined, take your time.
They're in the 6th minute of stoppage time at the Valley, and there's been a goal. Ian Abrahams.
Charlton 1, West Bromwich Albion, your Sonny Carey, 25 yards out. Just thought I may as well have a punt at this. Josh Griffiths has let it go right through him. Charlton 1, West Brom 0.
Saved the penalty, but he's let one in right at the end of the game. Here's Richarlison. And it should be easy for Copenhagen to bring it away, although it's really well read by Bentancur, bombing forward down the right-hand side. Chance to get the cross in, chops it onto his right foot and then onto his left. A back from him for Pedro Porro. Bentancur again. Ball inside the penalty area, back from him to Palhinha. Sarr has it. Another opportunity for Porro as the ball comes in from the right-hand side, and Richarlison heads it off the underside of the bar and to safety. Let's go to Anfield. Matt Jones.
It's Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0. The boos are ringing out here. Listen to that reception as Trent Alexander-Arnold is brought on. He's just replaced Gula for Real Madrid as they try and salvage something out of this game. They've had one chance into your last with me. Mbappe picked up in space in the penalty area, but guiding his right-footed shot far wide of the far post. It's Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0.
So Trent Alexander-Arnold coming on to cacophony of boos, replacing Arda Güler. Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0. PSG have one back at home to Bayern Munich with 15 minutes to go. Bayern down to 10 men. After Luis Diaz was sent off, João Neves has got PSG back into the game. Here's Richarlison on the right-hand side of the midfield. And what about that chance with a header that's come back off the underside of the bar and to safety?
Yeah, it would have been nice for him. He's struggled, hasn't he, recently? It would have been a little confidence booster for him. Got it well. He was unlucky. Did everything right, really. He needs a bit of love from this crowd, and a goal would have helped.
Yeah, it would have been his first in 10 since he netted against Brighton. You listen to the Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Spurs in possession near the edge of the Copenhagen penalty area. Van der Ven. And that'll be taking all the headlines tonight after that extraordinary goal. Spence back for Palhinha. Palhinha, great strength, good upper body strength. Won a shoulder barge in the midfield, finds Porro. Porro in, Richarlison, he's put that one wide. Another header from close range, and it's potentially come at some cost because he and Scarlett both going for the same ball, and Richarlison stayed down for a moment. He's all right, he's back on his feet. But he's put that header about a yard wide.
It's a great ball in from Porro, and they're both in the right place. Richarlison comes flying in and takes it off Parrott's head, really. He's unlucky. He's desperate for a goal. Don't mind that.
Yunus and Gilloise have one back at Atletico Madrid. And it's Englishman Ross Sykes that has scored the goal. 2-1 to Atletico Madrid. The former Accrington Stanley man scoring at the Metropolitano in the Champions League. What a story that is. Here's Dane Scarlett, the right-hand side of the penalty area. It is full-time at Birmingham and at Charlton, and we'll be there in a moment for the details. No further goals, wins for Birmingham and Charlton, but there has been a very late goal at Leicester. Jeff Peters.
Leicester 1, Middlesbrough 1. The 10 men have equalised in the 96th minute. Luke Ayling with a header after a hopeful high ball was knocked towards the far post. Ayling has saved it for the 10 men. Leicester 1, Middlesbrough 1.
Ayling scores, and Leicester, Ayling, that's just one win in 10 games now at the end of the night, and conceding to the 10 men in the 6th minute of stoppage time. Leicester 1, Middlesbrough 1. Just 1 point from 4 games for Mari Cifuentes' men. Ball delivered very deep, just past Cornelius, straight out of play for a goal kick that will be taken away to the left-hand side by Vicario with 4 minutes to go here. Liverpool leading 1-0 against Real Madrid. Spurs 4 up in this game at home to Copenhagen. It's Spurs against Manchester United next here on Saturday, live on Talksport at 12:30. Now let's go back to Anfield. Matt Jones.
It's still Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0. Liverpool are really being penned back now. They're about to bring Chiesa on to try and get some fresh legs onto the field. But as a look, Real Madrid have got 10 men camped inside the Liverpool half, and they are just trying to plot a way through a resilient defence. Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0.
4-0 here to Spurs. Lopez. Lovely crossfield ball out towards Suzuki. Suzuki can bring it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Flick the ball out towards the right-hand side. Sports Bar is going to be a great listen on my way home tonight. A reaction from Liverpool and Spurs fans to the performances this evening, and seemingly 2 wins. Here's Suzuki clipping the ball back inside the penalty area. Darlison trying to help it over the line, but it's just knocked away by Romero at the depth to put it out of play for another corner.
It's good from Porro. He's done well actually tonight. He's been right at it with the ball, positive. Looks fit, looks sharp, looks hungry to prove a point. I like that. He's been really good. Good service from that right side, good passing, long distance, short distance.
A corner in from the Copenhagen left has travelled a long way, but it's cleared out towards Clem. Clem flicking it to Klaassen. Right-footed ball in from him. It's hit an arm inside the penalty area, but no sense that it's a penalty against Pedro Porro. Let's get some full-time details in the Championship. First to St Andrews, Dave Rowe.
Birmingham 4, Millwall 0, a goal feast for the second time in 4 days for the home side, who are now 1 point off the top 6. Well constructed first half goals from Peck and Damari Gray. Alex Cochrane voided in the third after the break before Jay Stansfield got on the score sheet to complete a big win. Millwall never got going on a night when they could have gone second. It's their first defeat in 6. Birmingham 4, Millwall 0.
Lopez with a long throw inside the Spurs penalty area that Richarlison heads away. Full time at the Valley as well for Ian Abrahams.
Charlton 1, West Brom 0. A wise old sage once said to me, if you don't buy a ticket, you can't win the lottery. Sonny Carey, 5 seconds from the end of the game, thought he'd have a go from distance. Keeper let it in, basically, after saving a penalty from Doherty in the first half. And that was about that. Charlton 1, West Brom 0.
Jez Spence with the ball towards the edge of the Copenhagen penalty area. They can get it away. A full-time whistle's blown as well at the King Power. Jeff Peters.
Yeah, Leicester 1, Borough 1. Luke Ayling's dramatic 96th minute header has rescued a point after Borough had Alfie Jones sent off. Jordan Ayew's penalty looked to have won it for Leicester, but the pressure remains on Marty Cifuentes. It's now 5 without a win. Leicester 1, Borough 1.
Yeah, just 1 win in 10 in League and Cup for Leicester. Leicester 1, Middlesbrough 1, and they are still in the bottom half of the Championship table. We're in the 90th minute here. 4-0 for 10-man Spurs. 2 of them before Brennan Johnson was sent off, and then 2 in less than 3 minutes afterwards. Copenhagen trying to bring the ball forward. 1-1 it's finished in that Ipswich-Watford game, in which Watford took an early lead through Imran Lousa. Jaden Philogene equalising 1-1. That has finished. Sarr has the ball in the midfield for Spurs, who just maintaining possession. There's certainly no danger of any description here as we go into 3 additional minutes at the end of the game. Derby have beaten Hull in the Championship as well tonight by 2-1. Coventry leading by the same scoreline live over on Talksport 2 as that game reaches its conclusion. Dane Scarlett. Oh, he's done well. He's got past Suzuki. He's inside the penalty area. Looking for his first ever Champions League goal. Has been brought to ground. And it is a penalty for Spurs in stoppage time. Right at the end of the night.
Wonder if they're going to let him take it. Porro's asking for it. Look, he's got his arm up. Oh, Richarlison, come on. I know you need a goal, but a young lad. Go on, give it him. Go on, give it him. Well done. I like that. That's a team player, that is. Really good from Richarlison. I know he needs a goal, but the young lad's got the penalty himself. He'll do more good.
Well,
oh, no.
He's handed it to Pedro Porro, and he's then handed it back to Richarlison.
Oh, it was Porro. I thought it was Parrott, sorry.
I don't know whether that is at the behest of the Spurs coaching staff. But it is going to be Richarlison. A chance for Spurs to end up winning this by 5-0. Richarlison has spotted the ball down. He's just got his white shirt and has pushed it over his face as if he's just wiping the sweat from his brow. He's taken 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steps back towards the edge of the penalty area, then an 8th. There's an exhalation of breath. Goes to his left-hand side, runs up, stutters, and smacks it off the underside of the bar again. He's hit the bar twice since coming on. Spurs miss the penalty. and still he waits for his first goal in 10 games.
Well, I always thought when a young lad's on the pitch, Scarlett, you should have give him it. He's earned it. I know Richarlison's desperate for a goal, but he's an experienced guy. It's a poor penalty. I got mixed up. I thought Porro was Scarlett, yeah.
Well,
I was singing Richarlison's praises, and they were undeserved.
He did hand the ball to Porro, and then it was given back to Richarlison. I mean, he's trying to whack the maker's name off the ball. He's hit it that hard, then it's cannoned back off the underside of the bar, which I'm sure is still reverberating. Polinia's just caught his man here. It's going to be a free kick to Copenhagen. The Spurs fans still singing Dane Scarlett's name. What they would have loved to have seen a goal from a product of the academy, his first ever in the Champions League, wasn't to be.
I think more so when he's earned it himself with a good bit of skill, Scarlett. You know, he hasn't been on the pitch that long. I just think it would have been the right thing, but, you know, forwards are greedy. It did surprise me when I saw him giving the ball away, and I thought, oh, he's doing the right thing, but no.
Back to Anfield in a moment. They still lead 1-0. Copenhagen free kick after that foul by Polinia. Spurs defending with a line of 9 on the edge of the 8, with the line of 8 on the edge of the penalty area as the ball is swept in. It's headed over the bar by Hatsidiakos as PSV equalises stoppage time at Olympiakos. Let's go back to Anfield. Matt Jones.
There are 3 minutes of added time still to go here. It is Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0. Liverpool are doing well to see the game out at the moment. Mbappe's just been in the area, but he can't get a kick when it gets to him in the box because Liverpool are defending so well. Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0.
Time whistle has gone here. It's ended up 4-0. Johnson and Odebear before Johnson then got sent off. Van der Ven with a goal for the ages. Polinia added a fourth moments later. They never looked in any danger at all. Richarlison, who'd already hit the bar with a header, then hit the bar with a missed penalty. Spurs 4, Copenhagen 0. How they needed that. Let's go back to Anfield. Adrian?
Yeah, we'll get more thoughts from Danny Murphy on that goal and that win for Tottenham Hotspur, but we are seeing out injury time, or Liverpool are seeing out injury time here. Alexis McAllister's header means that they lead 1-0. And I wouldn't say Real Madrid are throwing everything at Liverpool, but whatever they are throwing at Liverpool, Liverpool are repelling, Matt Jones.
They certainly are. Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0. I want to give a special mention to Conor Bradley, who I think Real identified as the weak link early on, and they put 3 or 4 balls over the top of him to Vinicius. Since about the 15th minute, Vinicius has done absolutely nothing in this game, and we've just seen Bradley put a huge tackle in on him on the far right-hand side for Liverpool, the left for Real Madrid as well. They haven't been allowed to touch those threatening Real Madrid players whenever they've got anywhere near the Liverpool penalty area, and we're seeing Konate at the moment dribble about 15 yards outside his area to get past 3 men. It's been the most effective Liverpool performance I've seen this season, and they nearly get a chance to finish it off there as Gakpo tries to feed it through to Chiesa, but a little bit too much on the ball, and Courtois, who has been Real Madrid's man of the match, comes out of his area and manages to clear. So there is about a minute to go in added time, and Liverpool are doing the job at the moment.
If there is some booing, you'll note it's him on the ball. Trent Alexander-Arnold's cross goes nowhere and is going to be cleared by Liverpool, but he hasn't done anything effective since he's come on, Trent Alexander-Arnold. And although Jude Bellingham has worked hard and looks like he's given his all for the team, there's not been a lot of quality from him either, is there?
There hasn't, and I think that's down to Liverpool have got Szoboszlai back in midfield. He's obviously played quite a lot at right back this season without Frimpong being there, with of course the injury that Bradley has had himself, and with him back in midfield, Liverpool are such a more effective defensive unit. There was another chance for them to get through there with Salah trying to feed Gakpo and being unable to do so. That ball was blocked, and a yellow card now as well has been dished out, I think, for Carreras for a foul on Chiesa. But yet that Liverpool midfield has just closed out Bellingham whenever he's got the ball. They've swarmed around him. The press has been really good, and I don't think Real Madrid really know what's hit them this evening.
No, I think you're right. Liverpool have been so organised, so good. They've been everything that they haven't been in this poor run that they've been on recently. But the irony is, Thibaut Courtois, he looked like they were never going to get past him. One of the smallest men on the field, Alexis McAllister, actually heads the ball past him, and it seems to go through his hands just above his head. I think when he looks at it, Courtois, although it's close range, he will think he should keep it out, but Liverpool won't care one bit as Xabi Alonso gets booked by the referee for saying a little bit too much on the sidelines.
Yeah, the referee just coming over to him there. He wasn't happy, Alonso, at the awarding of a free kick on the halfway line, which Liverpool now take. We are now 6 minutes elapsed of 5 added on, and in fact there goes the full time whistle. Real Madrid came here on a spectacular unbeaten run. They've been phenomenal in Spain this season. Liverpool have struggled, but Liverpool have done a job on, and it's no more than they deserve. The goal coming from Alexis McAllister midway through the second half as he met a Szoboszlai free kick into the area and headed it almost through Thibaut Courtois, but Courtois before then had made 5 or 6 outstanding saves, 2 in particular in the first half from Szoboszlai himself, one that he tipped around the post, and then at the start of the second he brilliantly, expertly tipped a Van Dijk header and a Nakatike header over the bar as well. At the other end, Real Madrid pushed and pushed, but they could just not find a way through, and as if to outline the dominance that Liverpool had defensively in this game, Real Madrid have had at least 10 shots on target in every match they've played in the Champions League this season, including against Juventus, by the way. They've come to Anfield and they've managed just the 2. Mbappe, the goal machine that he is, barely had a kick in front of goal. Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0.
Best team won, no doubt about it. We'll round up the Champions League with Matt and with Danny Murphy very, very shortly. But wins for the three English sides, Spurs, Arsenal, and here at a noisy Anfield. They are loving it. Could it kickstart Liverpool's season? It's finished Liverpool 1, Real Madrid 0. Let me first of all, before we go back to Danny Murphy for man of the match at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I'm going to round up all the championship headlines tonight very quickly. You may want to get your calls into the sports bar on the EFL or on the Champions League, 03717223344. The results in the championship: Birmingham 4, Millwall 0, Bristol City 0, Blackburn 1, Charlton 1, West Brom 0, Derby 2, Hull City 1, Ipswich 1, Watford 1, Leicester 1, Middlesbrough 1, Oxford 0, Stoke City 3, and Coventry 3, Sheffield United 1. The Sky Blues got a third in the 95th minute, and you can't keep him down at the moment. Brandon Thomas Asante with the goal. In League One, just the one game, Rotherham 2, Burton Albion 2, the Millers coming from 2-0 down to get a draw. So Coventry come from behind to beat Sheffield United. They go 4 points clear at the top of the table. Stoke goes second with a 3-0 win at Oxford. Game day live Saturday afternoon comes from Stoke against Coventry. So Arsenal won in Prague, Liverpool beat Real Madrid here, and Spurs battered Copenhagen. It is time now for us to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
Danny Murphy at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Who are you going for?
Well, there was a few options who all played well. I mean, Odegaard was terrific. Simons had his best game. Porro was outstanding, but I'm going to have to go for Van der Ven, because when you see the goal, you can't score a goal like that and not get man of the match. It's just not right. So he has got it. He played well anyway, but lots to be pleased for Thomas Frank. I think the biggest thing, 2-0, they get a man sent off. You think, half an hour to go. Tottenham's reaction was brilliant. They really upped it with the 10 men and they punished this side. Yes, they weren't great, but a step in the right direction, that's for sure.
Mickey Van der Ven with the moment of the match, and he's the man of the match. Our here for it hero, man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.